Why do you think you
Sir,
have? You think you?
asked you for a
Why do you
date.
think you have? Why do you think we have a Black Ops? Why do you think we got Apache helicopters? Where do you think the idea of camouflage came from? Where do you think all of the guerrilla tactic? They didn't come from Africa. They didn't come from your people. They came from us. We helped build that part of the military. It's part of America. That is one example, and I can give you a lot more. Your people barely got here in the 1600s. We've been here before you people came over here. What are you talking
Sir,
about?
you said the 1800s. That was a date you put to it.
I am
Mind
giving
you,
you
Did you
an
not say that?
example.
mind
I
you,
was
we've been
giving
here
you
for
an example.
No,
thousands
stop. Did you
years.
not say the 1800s?
I said I was giving you an example of when the dates when our people fought in the Civil War and every single war
We had already
before
been here
and
for
after
200
that.
years
Okay,
before that.
But we were here for thousands.
mind you, are
You
you
understand
really
that?
this uneducated?
What does that have to do with America? What does that have to do with the United
Are you
States of America?
serious?
Yes,
We
I'm dead
built this.
serious.
That's why we built
hold
this
on.
from the
Half of America
beginning.
is
Hold on, can I
annexed.
speak? Can I speak? Because I am the host. Let me speak. so, so we've been here for thousands of years. All of the resources, anything from oil to silver to gold, and all the foods that are here that you eat, by the way. Matter of fact, you guys even culturally appropriated some indigenous food like cornbread,
Who are
right?
you
That's actually
guys? Who are you
indigenous.
guys? Are you talking about black people?
I am.
Who are, oh, so you guys equals black people. Okay. So
So
that we took
are you
cornbread.
going to let
Okay.
me finish, or are you going to
Good,
just
good, good.
continue to
Okay.
interrupt and be
No,
rude?
you
Man, you're
guys. Go
such in
ahead.
you're in
You guys that
denial,
we
aren't you?
taking
Mind
from
your
you.
business. You're really in denial, aren't you? You have that much
So,
I'm
so
not
all
in
of
denial
the,
at all.
hold on.
Sir, you
Damn.
So
said
you
the
asked how they.
1800s.
I'm sorry.
You
You
brought
asked
up
how
the
they gained their.
1800s.
You asked how they gained. I will drop you if you interrupt me one more
I
time.
mean, you can. He brought up the 1800s.
Oh, no problem.
Hold on, just mute him. Okay, listen. Look,
So,
listen.
so
Go ahead, Kelly.
all of the resources are ours, right? So if you asked how they gained wealth, well, if they had the gold, our gold, and they had the silver, our silver, and if they have all of the other resources, natural resources that they're still digging up today from this earth, all of the foods that was taken from our land and spread around all of Europe and Africa and Asia. Those are our foods. Matter of fact, the world, 60% of what the world consumes are actually our indigenous foods from the Americas. We have
So, man,
we
so
have
you
been
bring up
here. You're gonna.
diamond and gold. Do you not? Were black people not?
All right. So when you
Hold
think
on.
you can,
Yeah.
when you think you could be a grown adult and wait your
So
turn and speak, then we'll go ahead and bring you up.
Kelly, so I just want to say that what they're gonna their strategy, their tactic is they're going to gaslight like they have been doing for many years to our people. Everything that you say, they're going to find a way to belittle it and discredit it because that's all they know how to do. That is the only thing they know how to do. So they're trying to assume a position of superiority, trying to make us think that we don't know what we're talking about, and everything that they're saying is right. So they're narcissists. They're gaslighting
Can I
us,
say
right?
this real quick? Can I say this real quick?
They're completely disregarding what we're saying because they
Wait a
think they're
minute,
going to control the
Giovanni.
narrative. They think they're
So
going to
Let me
control
say
the
this real
narrative
quick.
because this is the exact same way
Let me
they
say this
fooled
right
a
quick.
lot of people in the. Can you relax? I'll let you go right now.
Hold
This is
on.
the
You're
exact
next,
same
bro.
way.
Well, no, because you
This
had
is
already
the
spoke.
let's. Ivan was
this.
here, and then Casper, and then
Yeah.
Giovanni.
So in the same exact way, they gaslit a lot of people, even our own people, to believe a false narrative. But in this era that we're living in now, that is all going out the window. This is a new era, new narratives, and the truth is finally coming out. So go ahead, who's ever next.
Okay,
Go
let me
ahead,
say this. Let me say
Ivan.
this. Can I say this first?
No, you cannot, because you need to wait your turn. Be a good little boy. Wait your turn, okay?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, then stop acting like a child and be an adult and wait your turn.
Who hasn't spoken yet?
Ivan hasn't said one word yet. Casper hasn't said one word yet.
He could speak. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say
Well,
what you
then
gotta say. Bro.
Casper's next.
Talking go.
Casper's next.
I get dibs after Casper.
Okay. So y'all sit up there and say people study y'all inventions, right? Can I read you a list of things that black people created?
Sure, and then I'll pull up a list if you got time, all the things indigenous people created.
Okay. Well, I never said they
He
didn't,
knows.
but I feel like you guys try to give yourselves a lot of credit saying y'all built America when y'all didn't. It's historically proven y'all did not build America. Also,
Neither did you
Mexicans are not
guys.
the most. Also, Mexicans are not the most influential because you can even go back
Yes,
to
we
Martin
are.
Luther King. No, you're not. Because you can even go back to
Yes,
Martin
we
Luther
are.
King.
Let me ask you
No, you're
this,
not.
Giovanni. Let me ask you
Hold on, let
this.
me finish because I didn't even speak.
When
I didn't even
someone
get. I
goes,
didn't even get to put my point out.
let's just look at food, for instance. When people go and they have, do they have
Well,
Taco Tuesday,
food came from all over the world.
do they have Soul Food Tuesday? When people want to go out, do they go out for Mexican food more, or do you think soul food? I'll wait.
What does it have to do with y'all being influential?
We're influential.
My
Trust
guy,
me.
That
where do
doesn't
you,
mean you're
okay,
influential. If you sit up there and say, well,
Giovanni,
can
where
somebody
do
go
you
out for
where do
Mexican
you
food
think a
more
lot of
or
your
soul
music
food? That doesn't
genres
even
were
make sense.
influenced? Giovanni, where do you think a lot of your music genres were influenced from?
It's not from Mexico.
Yes, it was.
It's from
You're just
Europe.
ignorant.
Are you freaking slow?
No.
It's from
You know,
Europe.
you're
Bro,
slow. You're ignorant. You're
jazz came
uneducated.
from Europe.
But you're uneducated.
Well,
Jazz
My
came from
guy.
freaking Europe, bro. Jazz came
Okay,
from freaking Europe.
bro,
Are you freaking
you're
slow?
very
That had nothing to do
uneducated.
with Mexico.
You're
Or
uneducated, my guy.
Mexican.
You're
What are
very
we talking about?
uneducated. I
No,
said
you're
we influenced
uneducated.
it. We're influencing you. You're such an
Bro,
ignorant
no,
image. You
you're
know that, right?
not. No, you're not. You
Yes, you
think
are.
you are.
Damn, look.
Because y'all
But
have
dude, look at this. Damn, look at this guy trying so hard to discredit us, man. You have no fucking proof, my guy.
This
Look,
is always got to be on some conspiracy stuff. I think this live's a CIA. It's always an accusation. It's ironic because
Crazy. Like I'm on this little app, right?
people are trying to discredit Hispanic contributions. That is
I
a
can't name
CIA
one
tactic.
thing a Hispanic person
okay, wait a
created.
minute. Okay, wait a minute. So let me hold on. Let me say something. So let me read you some of these
Hold
notes
on,
I
you
have
didn't
here.
let me finish
So
my point. I
so
just
hold on,
listened to a bunch
Giovanni.
of things
I'm gonna read you some of them. No, because you're very uneducated. Okay. So after the Mexican War, you do realize it. I'll give you some years, some dates too. It was during 1846 and 1848, right? So you do understand that after the Mexican War, there were many Mexican families that became part of the U.S., right? A lot of Mexicans, they did not leave. They did not leave, okay? So as a part of that, African Americans that were there at that time in those regions, at that time, especially after slavery ended, there was a significant. Now I want you.
right here. Like I get mad. I just put.
Okay, listen, man, you're talking over me, bro, and
Okay, can we let's calm down
yeah,
and let's all
he's saying
take,
bad words.
let's calm down and let's
Okay,
all
so
take
When Martin Luther King.
okay, so Giovanni, so let me explain how let me school you, let me educate you, Giovanni. I'm gonna
You're not
educate you. So
educating
I am
You're not
you're
educating.
ignorant, okay? You're uneducated. I'm gonna educate
let's
you.
not
So
call names and let's just
No, you're
so the
stupid.
way it works, you're jealous and you're envious. The way it works is during that time there was African Americans and Mexicans living in the same region. Okay, there were black communities and there was Mexican communities together living amongst each other. Now you do realize that during that time there was the influence of Mexican cowboy culture, and you do realize that there was a lot of African Americans that were also cowboys. They were the black cowboys. Where do you think they got that from? Are you going to say from Europe? Are you going to say from Africa? That did not come from Africa. So that's one way. That's another way that African Americans copied Mexicans, our cowboy culture. And besides that, when they were living together, there was a lot of sharing of music, food, and there was a lot of social practices happening around those regions. Yes, it is.
It's true.
Okay, so what are you telling me? You're telling me that Mexicans and African Americans after the Civil War they weren't living they were not living in the same communities. You're telling me that they were not living in the same communities. Then how is it that black people how is it that the black cowboy came to be? Where did they get that from? No, because I'm not finished. You're interrupting me. All right, so where was I? So the communities were sharing food. So because you're not. I'm not finished. I said I'm not finished. So they were sharing foods. They were sharing music. They were sharing social practices.
Okay? I have a comment.
And hold on, wait a minute. I'm not done, Rick. So Africans, for example, who said that?
Chonito.
What?
Benito.
Bro, I'm the moderator here, dude.
You're bloviating. Get to your point.
Okay, you know what, dude? I don't like you, man. Get out of here. There you go. Trying to tell me what to do. This guy, hilarious, man. So anyways, the point is that during that time, there was a lot of influence because the Mexican Americans, the Anglo Americans, and the African Americans were living together. And during that time, there was a thing called Mexican corridos. That type of music influenced country music. It influenced the blues. It influenced jazz. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's all it is documented. Why don't you go to the universities where these books and these articles are at and tell them that they are liars? You know what they're going to do? They are going to probably give you a bag of weed and a bag of rice and send you on your way. That's what they're going to do, okay? Because they're going to see you as an ignorant person that doesn't know their history, okay?
I'm sorry.
Okay, let's take turns. So, are you finished, Fidel, or no?
I got more, but go ahead. I'll let somebody else go.
Okay, go ahead. You can go ahead and rebuttal that, Giovanni.
Bro, first off, okay, that's like saying any race, any ethnicity. The Irish, the Irish, the Italians, right? You can say that about any race, any ethnicity. Make contributions to society, to this country. To say y'all founded the country is kind of crazy. Because if you even look back at history,
no one's talking about founding.
Nobody said that.
Hold on. Well, you said y'all created America. That's down there saying
you're trying to create a hierarchy.
She forgot to put a question mark.
Ivan, you can go next. Ivan, you can go next. Let him finish. Hold on, Giovanni. Giovanni, hold on. Can everyone please mute? Let Giovanni finish and land his plane, and then Ivan, you can go next. Go ahead, Giovanni.
Okay.
Dibs after Ivan.
Even if you look back in history, right? I never said that blacks and Mexicans didn't live together. What I was saying no to was that you're sitting up there trying to take credit for something and trying to make it seem like it came all from you guys. Because you just said y'all created jazz. Y'all did not create jazz. Y'all did not create hip hop.
Okay,
yes,
I did not say that. You're lying. You're lying.
Yes,
I said okay.
Yes,
look.
Nobody
I'm not
said anything about creating jazz.
I'm not
dude.
gonna. I didn't say create. Okay, this is how I can tell you're very uneducated. I said influence. Do you know what the difference between influence and create is? No, you don't. Get yourself a dictionary. Go on.
This is the same tactic that people use to discredit Puerto Ricans from hip hop. Oh, you didn't create it, so therefore you didn't pioneer.
Regardless if you said influence or created,
because you're trying to play semantics with the word.
Hey, you guys keep interrupting him.
You're playing semantics.
Ivan, you can rebuttal.
I digress.
But you're over here saying, well, I didn't say create, I said influence.
Look,
you over here talking about semantics, but you're over here trying to play a semantics game.
Giovanni, just a second, please. Everyone, if you could mute.
And I'm not even finished.
Hold on. I never said anything. Hold on. If everyone can just mute, let him finish. Everyone should be able to take a turn and not speak over one another. We can't even hear you if you guys are speaking over one another. Go ahead, Giovanni.
Okay. And then you sit up there and say, well, we took all the inventions from you. Okay, so let me just say some inventions that black people created. Because you sit up there and said, we took the creations from you.
You're lying again.
That, but okay, hold on. Let me finish, bro. You gonna have time to rebuttal. Come on, relax. All right. So
Kelly, I'm gonna hop off the reporting and I'll come back up. Okay.
Okay.
Damn. See, night. Damn.
Hey, you guys.
Right, so
listen. Hold on.
Somebody screen record this and just have them up here.
Yeah.
Somebody screen record and just share it with them whenever, but because I'm gonna leave in a minute.
Yeah.
But,
hey,
so
guys. Listen. This is a good conversation. I'm talking to you guys in the chat. Don't report it. If you don't like what somebody's saying, then don't sit here and listen to this live. Just go to another live. But don't be childish and report it. I mean, it's okay to disagree with someone. So we're getting up here. We're taking turns. Everyone's going to get a chance to rebuttal. Okay? Go ahead, Giovanni.
Okay. Can I say like 2 or 3 things and then I'll leave?
Sure,
okay,
you can go ahead.
The first thing I'm gonna say is when you say built America, right, or made these significant contributions. Okay, first off, when he was talking about what black people did, right, it's not entirely true because if you look in the 1960s, actually the biggest or one of the main things that got this country wealth was actually from cotton, and that's a fact. You can look this up. There's books on it. You can do all of that. Who were the ones doing the cotton? How do you think during the Industrial Revolution, why did they make those cotton factories? They did that because that was to supplement the income coming in from cotton. That was one of the biggest one of the way of producing money and stuff worldwide in this country. So to sit up there and say, well, black people didn't do anything for their country, that was like one of the main things that they made money from was cotton in the 1960s. You can look this up and you can read the books on it. Second, these are just some of the inventions that black people created. The traffic lights that you stop at, refrigerated trucks, automatic elevator doors, color monitors for desktops, shape of ironing boards, laser treatment for cataracts, clothes dryer, automatic gear shifts, toilet, lawn sprinkler, home security system, and that's just a few things. And I can give you the names of each of those people too, if you want me to, for each of those inventions. There's so
Now,
many more, but
Giovanni,
those are just
is that a
those.
soul
Hold on, hold on,
is that a soul
hold on,
is that
hold
a
on,
soul
hold on, hold
creation
on,
or is that a
hold on,
contribution?
hold
This man
on,
said
Why are you
20 seconds.
interrupting
Hold on.
again?
hold on. Those are
Cut
just
it
a
out.
few. Well, you said inventions, right? So those would be inventions. So my thing is, those are just a few. Those aren't even going into the other countless you can always just do research on. So
Hey,
again,
bro, you didn't invent the toilet, homie.
you trying to diminish
Let's keep
someone
it
else's
real.
just to boost up themselves is
Goes.
kind of crazy.
Let him
You said the
wait your
You
ironing
see what I'm
board.
saying?
goes. Wait your turn.
Okay, let's give somebody
Okay,
else
go
a turn
ahead,
because there's
Ivan.
people
Go
waiting.
ahead, Ivan.
Well, you kept interrupting me the whole
Okay,
time. So let me
okay.
just finish this. Let me just finish this one more last thing, and I'm gonna be done with it. And you say the brotherly you say the community, right? What did Martin Luther King do in the 1960s for Mexican people?
He didn't do anything
He
for
talked to
Mexican
Yes, he
people.
Caesar
He
did.
didn't do it by
Yes, he did.
Chavez.
himself.
And I'm gonna tell you what
No,
he
he
did.
didn't.
Yes, he
He
did.
No,
I'm
he
talked
supposed
to
to tell
didn't.
Caesar
you.
No, he
Chavez.
didn't.
No. I'm supposed to tell you what he did. In 1960, the Chicano Act. You can look it up. When Mexican people were being discriminated against, when they were being killed just like black people, who was the front person to rise up for them? It was Martin Luther King. You can read it. You can look it
Nah,
up.
bro.
Look up the Chicano
Hey,
Act. I'm telling you.
let's call
I'm
it
telling you
revisionist
historical
history.
fact.
Is what that
I'm
is.
telling you
Look,
historical fact. Go look
hey,
it up.
check
Okay,
it
Don't be
out.
okay.
ignorant
Well,
now.
that's
Hey,
okay. Well,
Giovanni, check
Don't be
it out.
Giovanni,
ignorant. Don't be
Let
Giovanni,
me
ignorant.
clarify
but
something.
Giovanni,
Don't
you
be
you
ignorant,
do
bro.
realize. Okay,
Don't
but
be
let me say
ignorant.
you're okay.
Go read a
Listen,
book.
ignorant. Look. You do know that Martin Luther King wouldn't even be a free man if it wasn't for Mexicans. You know that, right? You know your people would not be free if Mexico didn't get the ball rolling and then Mexican Americans and indigenous people in the United States liberated you. Giovanni, don't be a fool. Don't be ignorant.
Bro,
Don't
here's
be
how I know you don't know
uneducated.
what you're talking about. Here's how I know
So
you
you're
don't know what you're
telling
talking
That is
about.
a bold-faced lie,
are you
and you
telling
know it.
are you telling me that Mexican Americans, indigenous people, and white people did not liberate you? Are you telling me that Mexico did not liberate their slaves before the United States? Is that what you're saying?
You followed suit after Haiti, which
Bro,
Haiti
most of the civil
Haitians,
rights
black
activists
Haitians,
got their
helped
ideas from
liberate your
Africans. Not no
country,
dang on.
and
No, they
then
did not.
trickled
That is
down
a
to
false.
America.
Freeman, it's not your
Freeman,
turn yet.
Bro,
that is a
I
false
didn't even talk
narrative.
you
yet.
can literally
Thing.
look this up and
Okay,
read a book on
They did
this.
not. They did.
Yes, it is.
The Haitians.
Bro,
can
you
The
are
everyone let
Haitians did not
Giovanni
come
land
to
his
Latin
plane
America
and
and
then
help
let's get
us.
to the other
Haiti is
people?
bro,
Latin
you are so
America. You
stupid. It's
They did not
ignorant.
come. They did not
Haiti is
come
Latin.
into Mexico and they did not help us fight. They helped by
They
giving us
destabilized the
weapons,
French
but they did
power.
not
They
help. The French
destabilized
are
French
weak,
power, and they
bro. The
allowed
French are
you to
weak,
get your
bro.
freedom.
The French.
He's in the part of the fold. Hey,
Okay,
but
Look,
Giovanni,
so
let me.
let
I
Giovanni,
haven't even
please,
talked
guys,
yet.
can you guys freaking let him land his plane so we can move on to the other people?
yeah,
I've
I was
said
about
this
to.
like 10
Dude kept
times
interrupting
already.
me. Okay, here's how I know dude don't know what he's talking about, right? You have to pick up a book and stop just picking up things that align
Gaslighting
with your
because you're
views.
uneducated.
No, bro, you're uneducated. It's okay. It's okay. Just admit when you're wrong. Go pick up a book after this, and
Look.
you can actually find out it out.
I forgive your ignorance. Go
But
on.
listen, but listen, but listen. You sit up there and try to talk about civil rights. You're not even informed enough to talk about civil rights. Martin Luther King. You can look this up.
I'm not
Martin
talking
Luther
about
King.
civil rights. You're
No,
bringing
listen
it
to what I
up.
said because you weren't listening to what I originally said. If you had listened to what I originally said, you would understand why I brought it up. But again, because I was talking about the Chicano Act, because you was like, well, Martin Luther King didn't do this for us, and I
Can you
told you,
get to the
he
point,
did.
man? You sound like you're hurt. Go ahead.
I can't because you keep interrupting me.
If you're a mod, why
Can
don't you
somebody
act
mute
like a
him or like what's
mod
going
and
on?
just quiet
So,
yourself and
so
let
like I'm
people
saying,
speak?
so like I'm
Instead of
Okay, Freeman, get the hell out of
so like
here.
I'm saying,
Go ahead, Giovanni.
nah, don't leave now. So like I was saying, I brought up the Chicano Act. If you were listening, the reason why I brought up civil rights was because you said, oh well, Martin Luther King didn't do nothing for Mexican people. I said, go look at the Chicano Act. You sitting up there basically trying to say, oh well, no, he didn't do that. I'm ignorant. Yeah, but you're not even educated enough, bro.
Are you done, Giovanni?
You're not educated, not as educated as you think you are.
Okay. You're okay. You're done. Ivan,
So you have proven you haven't proved anything,
okay,
Giovanni.
let's go to Ivan now, please.
Okay, so I'm seeing some
the things you can look up. What is the not?
Okay, so you're mentioning the Chicano thing with MLK. I'm also familiar that MLK himself, there's documented sources indicating that MLK did collaborate with Latino figures during the civil rights movement, especially in Puerto Rico.
He also collaborated with Africans.
He traveled to Puerto Rico twice and even met up with Roberto.
He traveled to Africa.
Okay.
He traveled to Africa.
Okay, that's fine. But he traveled to certain Latin American places.
He got his ideas from Gandhi.
Okay, that's fine, dude. But
yes, he got it from a brown man. Yes, he did. He got the idea from a brown man. Yes.
Can you guys let Ivan fit? I can't believe I've had to say this many times. Like, let the person speak, let them finish, and then let's go on to the next person.
It's kind of look. I'm just gonna say this, man. It's kind of disingenuous for either yourself or others to say that Latinos or however people prefer to refer themselves, Mexicans, Latinos, or indigenous, Americans didn't influence or help build the country. And I feel
that's not what I said. See.
No, but others before you are making these claims. Okay, why are we being recorded?
I know I just came in here, but she was saying one at a time.
I said y'all weren't the main ones because y'all trying to take credit for everything. Listen to what
nobody's taking credit for anything.
Nobody's taking credit. We helped build America.
We're fighting for our place in this society.
Nobody can hear y'all.
I'm gonna get ready to mute everyone. I'm getting ready to mute everyone.
Nobody's making that implication.
Ivan, say what you need to say, and then land your plane, and let's move on.
I'm just simply addressing the fact that maybe not you specifically, Giovanni, but others over here being dismissive of our contributions to this country. And I feel a lot of this has to do with American exceptionalism. Like, why is it an abstract when Hispanics do something? Like, why is it laughable that whether it be a Mexican or other Latino communities contribute to anything? It doesn't have to just be the stupid hip hop origins debate, because even with salsa music, there or origins of it, there were examples of African Americans working with quote unquote Latin artists, and even talking about stuff like that. The black community swears that they had no role in it, but then when the other argument happens, oh, salsa isn't really Latin because it has African influences, so it's really ours. Like that those are examples of gaslighting that for some reason is for the modern black American generation. I'm not talking about because older black Americans that were born before the 50s and 60s, they didn't have a problem or being influenced by other communities besides their black brethren. So why is it a problem nowadays for certain not all certain African Americans to share spaces with other communities and be like, oh no, you could have never influenced us, we never knew you.
Can I respond to that?
Go ahead.
Make it quick, and then we're gonna go to Vato Loco. Hold on, wait a minute, and then we're gonna go to. Okay, hold on. You're gonna go next, and then we're gonna go to Vato Loco.
I don't need to go next. You just won't let anybody speak.
Okay, you know what, man? Who the hell are you, man? Get the hell out of here. I'm the moderator here. I'm saying Giovanni can go. Then Vato Loco, then Ghost. Go on, Giovanni.
Okay, the reason why, to answer your question about why black people feel like no other race or any ethnicity should come into their space, is because when they do, they typically try to make it seem like they're the ones who created it. Like, I ain't trying to bring in white people a lot, but like, look at what white people do, right? Like, if they go into a genre of music or they go into a genre, they usually try to make it seem like they're the ones who popularize it, and that's a fact. You see what I'm saying? That's why people are so protective. Even Mexicans, right? You just said it yourself. Most Mexicans, they're going to be more protective of their culture than, because that's what they know. They're not going to let somebody come in and try to take credit for their culture, right? I don't think that's just specifically exclusive to just black people. That's not, you know what I mean? But black people get it because it's seen so much and it's talked about so much. You see it and hear it so much that black people, oh well, they're being so, you know, defensive with their culture and all this because you see it a lot, you hear about it a lot. But it's not just black people that do that. But just to answer your question, it's not just black people. Everybody's protective of their culture, especially if they feel like, you know, it's being disrespected or someone's trying to take credit for it. But yeah.
And also another question: why it? And I'm reading the comments here. Why is there this narrative that the so-called Latinos or Mexicans are being lumped with the colonizers? Since when are the children of the Americas the colonizers?
I feel like a lot of people think because a lot of Hispanic people, Latinos and stuff like that, Mexicans, I feel like a lot of people see them in Puerto Ricans, Dominicans and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of people see them as having more conservative values, even though black people have conservative values too. But I think for them, they're more so like, I don't want to say overly conservative. You know what I mean? I just feel like, because really, when you think about it, most people are conservative. You know, they don't really do the whole, you know, LGBT and all that other stuff. We ain't gonna get too political, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just more so like they're just overly conservative with their views. And I feel like a lot of the times when you look at those communities, they kind of perpetuate certain stereotypes about other races or ethnicities that's not necessarily to group them or have them speaking for the whole community. But
and not only that,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but the thing is, we're our own thing, dude. Like people got to stop comparing us to the Spaniards, or that we're the spiritual successors to the Spaniards. Yes,
right.
Most of us are going to have Spanish blood because of colonization, but we're not looking for their approval for shit, dude. Like, and this narrative that we don't belong here or even in the hemisphere because, oh well, y'all just Spaniards, leave the Americas. Like, that's just not gonna freaking happen. And no one, and it's always this flip shit about, oh well, they get it from their like, that's disrespectful. When we fought as Latinos, we fought whole revolutions against the Spaniards. We're not trying to be their stepchildren. We've already kicked them out. Collectively as Latins, we are children of this continent. Like, people need to realize that we have the bloodlines of both the indigenous and some of us with the Africans. So we're not here trying to be like the European colonizers, because they learned their lesson by losing the independence wars and they got kicked out the region. And they gave us sovereignty when they finally realized it's time to go. So we're not trying to be like them. And, you know, when people make such claims, you're not respecting our community and our sovereignty as independent nations from where we come from. And it's also disrespectful when you tell them, well, you're cowards because you left your homeland instead of building it just to come here. Why does America get involved in Latin American affairs if that's the narrative people want to push? Why are U.S. government interfering in democratic elected elections, but then saying, oh, they're cowards for not being able to stay in their country and build it? You can't have it both ways. You can't. Okay, go ahead, Fidel.
So we're going to let Vato Loco go, and then Ghost, and then Tree God, and then the last guy that came in, Jay. Vato Loco, you've been waiting, man.
Inaida.
Huh? Oh yeah, Inaida. Sorry, my phone has got a glare. Okay, go ahead, Vato Loco. You're next.
Good evening, everybody. So Kelly X, I just had a question. I'm just going to answer your question. So
sure.
Good evening, guys.
Okay.
The Dodgers lost, by the way, if you guys didn't care.
My
when you say Mexicans and Latinos built America.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Yeah, but hey, when you say Mexicans and Latinos built America, are you talking about all the Americas or United States?
Mostly the.
So you refer to the United States or all of the Americas?
But also Mexico.
Kelly was supposed to put a question mark, and she left it like that to trigger people. It was supposed to have a question mark at the end.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so you know, I'm not about.
My family founded New Mexico, for instance. Like, New Mexico wouldn't exist as it is today if it weren't for my family. So go ahead.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I'm not about divide and conquer. You know, when it comes to minority communities, you know, the Black community, Mexican American community, Latino community, Native American communities, Asian communities. Because I live in California, it's pretty diverse, and we all have our good and bad in those communities. So I'm not about division. So just so you guys know, I make these comments. Just keep that in mind. So when I read your question, Mexicans and Latinos built America. Well, of course they did. But however, you cannot say that without saying what the Chinese did, what Irish did, what African American people did. You cannot discount their contributions. Native Americans helped build New York. So there's a lot of contributions from a lot of minorities and ethnic groups. And you also have to remember, you know, these conversations, when you guys have conflicts, this is exactly what the European Americans want. They want divide and conquer. So I don't subscribe to like putting other cultures or minorities down or saying, oh, we did this first, we did that first. Listen, there's a big influence that can be shared on certain things, on certain subjects. So I'm not going to discount it. Like, I haven't mentioned Puerto Ricans in rap music. Absolutely they did. They influenced it as well, too. You know, it's heavily started with the Jamaican Kool Herc, who was Jamaican. He migrated here, and he's, you know, he appears as a black man. But, you know, a lot of the Black culture started with the Puerto Ricans. You know, if you guys ever watched that movie Beat Street about
Can I
breaking?
say something? Because this is like the second live
Sure.
I've seen you do this. So I'm going to call you out on it.
Sure.
So
Go
I
ahead.
have never once, and this is the sad part, and this is why we have these lives. I have never.
Sure.
Do you know that indigenous people helped build the Empire State Building along with other
I said
buildings?
that.
Okay.
I said that. I said
so
that.
I would like to see you actually express more about the indigenous people and what they've done, because we have made multiple contributions, right? Everything from medicine to baby bottles to, you know, so on and so forth. So,
Sure.
but I never
Gotcha,
hear you
understood.
say
So-
that on lives. You know what I mean?
Well, I did say Native Americans helped build New York. They did. Okay. There was, and then if you wouldn't have the color TV, it wasn't for a Mexican. A Mexican invented color television. Okay.
Correct.
You wouldn't. The screen wouldn't be color if it wasn't for a Mexican who invented it. So no, I'm not trying to discount natives and native influence. I mean, if you think about it, there's a lot of influence that comes in. I think I heard Fidel earlier talk about it on a different live. You know, chocolate. You know, Mexican food is a big influence on our foods. Our American.
It's more than
Of
that.
course.
We've influenced the culture. We've hip hop culture and rap culture, especially the thug culture. It all comes from us. We majorly influenced all of it. It's not only just that. It's across the board. Food, music, everything. It's just that a lot of people aren't educated, and they've heard they've heard a very centrist version of history from their people in the past, you know, and it's not their fault that they were lied to by their people. It's not their fault. But, you know, times are changing and the truth is coming out now. So there's no hiding it nowadays. So this is why we're out here and we're trying to expose the truth.
Understood, Fidel. And when you say those things, you're preaching to the choir, as you know what that means. I totally get it. I exactly know where you come from. I'm just not a divisive. I'm just not a divisive person. Okay, I'm not a.
Yeah, I know. I
understand. There's a big
I don't
influence.
think it's being divisive. I think, you know, and even I'm sure Giovanni probably feels the same with his people. I think it's being pro your people, right? So I don't think it's divisive.
Understood.
And I think
understood.
it's okay to understand that, you know, there were other people that made the contributions, but what we're saying is we did too, but we're always being left out of the conversation. So we're going to bring it up so people will actually be gaining knowledge from this, right? And be a little educated by this.
And I'll say touche. You're absolutely right. You know, a lot of times the marginal communities, especially of Native Americans and Mexican Americans, are not overlooked or not given credit. So I absolutely agree with you on that. So I'm just trying to answer your questions without starting any type of conflicts. So here, the other question you have here, he says Mexican, Latinos, Natives are the most influential groups in Americas. Now, if we're talking about all the Americas, most likely that's a yes. In the United States, Southwest, California, yes.
And even the world.
Yeah, because it's definitely something.
I don't think so.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Okay, so I'm reading.
Well, it doesn't matter what you think. It's a fact.
That's not a
That's
fact.
Hold on, guys. Can I finish?
Okay, so I want
Hey,
to.
hold on.
Ghost.
Can I
We got
finish?
Ghost after
finish?
Vato Loco.
You
Yeah.
haven't said anything factual.
Okay, can I finish?
That's not a fact.
Yes, it
Hey,
is. You're
listen,
just uneducated.
We all have our researches and points of view, but here, let me answer that to the last question.
Maybe in San Diego and California.
Jamie,
Not on the East Coast.
Wait your turn, dude.
And Jay, like I said, it's all about points of view. I understand where you're coming from. So listen, should natives and Latinos evolve? Well, I think they have. I think they just need to, influence the politics and policies of today in the United States, because sometimes they're marginalized and not looked upon as a big contribution to the United States economy, which they are.
It's slowly changing, Vato. Look at figures like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and people like Sonia Sotomayor, Supreme Court Justice. Latinas, especially so-called Latina women, are creeping into American politics, and the dynamics is slowly changing even on that level. And
Understood. So anyway, I landed my plane. Everybody has their points of view. I know Jay's going to say something different because he lives on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast, and it's two different coasts, and it's different. But anyway,
Thank you, Vato. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Vato.
Ghost, you're next, and then Tree God, and then Inada, and then Jay.
Okay.
All right. So obviously, addressing the first question, I'm going to be speaking about the Americas as a whole, because the United States is not the Americas, right? So let me reference that. I would say yes, right, because of the indigenous ancestry. And it goes deeper than just these shallow things that I've heard a lot of people say, which while they're good to point out, I want to point out something different, okay? So in the indigenous Americas, we got to remember there was nomadic societies, and there was also societies that had the pueblos that stood still. Now, a lot of these societies, they built aqueducts. They took water from certain key water points, and there was already a pre-existing infrastructure before anybody else got here, right? You look down in Mexico City, they had aqueducts, and contrary to Giovanni's point that said they invented toilets, there was already plumbing in Tenochtitlan down in Mexico. So that's a lie, right? Just because you put it on the YT man's paperwork doesn't mean that you invented indoor plumbing, right? That being said, another thing to consider is that they were masterful in mastering their environment, their surroundings, all the plant life, all the trees, documenting everything from Alaska down to South America, whether it was medicinal, edible, what its uses were. This took thousands of years to accumulate this type of knowledge, not to mention astronomy, right? So Fidel was talking about how we influence the world. Now, mind you, there were other groups that separately, they contributed as well. I'm not taking that away from them. But as far as astronomy is concerned, that was a huge contribution in their society and in the world. And this also contributed to navigation, another thing that was pioneered in the Americas and the Pacific Islands, right? I think that's huge, if we're talking about who built America. Also ports and things of that nature all through the Americas.
Suspension bridges, those are invention.
Let's just talk about warfare, right? So when the Europeans came over, guerrilla warfare tactics and whatnot, you can look into, if you go to the military college, right?
Actually, we did, but go on. If you're going to say something, bring up facts and history, though. Because I can give you facts.
Shut your mark ass up and let me talk.
Please give me history. Say what?
I said, shut your mark ass up and
No,
let me
we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Let's just keep going.
Hey,
Let's try to refrain from that.
I want to make it perfectly clear. We are not going to call names. We are going to be very respectful towards each other.
Bitch. Watch your mouth, little bitch. Don't play with me, boy.
What did I say?
Yeah, you don't want to pull up.
Giovanni, you do that one more time, we're going to drop you. Giovanni, you do that one more time, we're going to drop you. All right, relax. Ghost, let's keep it clean.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Again, I was making my point, and he was trying to interrupt me and insult me. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, y'all didn't invent the toilet, but anyway. So what I was saying, like these contributions are huge. You know what I mean? Through medicine, through herbs, obviously, corn, right? That used to just be a little piece of grass until they basically like brought it about to be corn to be an edible food source. Um, so yeah, I'll say that. And then as we get into like modernity, I think a lot of other people kind of mentioned the contributions that they had with modernity. Now, as far as the United States, I'd have to acknowledge, kind of like what's his name, about the loco was saying, that there were many different contributions, you know, from many different people, Italians, Irish, African Americans, Hispanics, and stuff like that, in the United States alone. But another thing is revolutionary. You know what I mean? In the whole of Americas, you know what I mean? We were the first to kick shit off and to, you know, kick out the conquerors, and to establish republics and what have you, at least in the Western Hemisphere. So, I mean, I'll fall back, but I just wanted to mention those things. But as far as the aqueducts and stuff like that, I think people overlook that, because obviously that is a basis for civilization, you know, water sources and everything like that. And that was already pretty much established before anybody else got here.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Ghost. We're gonna go with Tree God, and I just want to add really quickly, not only guerrilla warfare, but the art of camouflage. There's a reason why you have you got your Tomahawk missiles, you have your Black Hawk helicopters, you got Apache helicopters in honor of the great warriors that are
So
ancestors.
are you Native American or are
Okay,
you Mexican?
sir, yes, Latinos are part Native American. Those are our ancestors.